What if I told you that some of Hollywood's biggest stars had secrets far wilder than any role they ever played? Behind the glitz and glamour, the champagne parties and award shows, there lurked an underground world of obsession, desire, and pure madness. Some of these celebrities didn't just break the rules, they rewrote them in the most scandalous ways possible. From bizarre fetishes to wild bedroom rumors that shook the industry, these stories reveal the side of fame Hollywood tried to bury. Here are 10 of the biggest sex freaks in Hollywood history. 10. Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner wasn't just a man with a dream, he was the man who turned that dream into one of the wildest empires of sex and fame the world had ever seen. Inside his luxurious Playboy mansion, he created a universe built on temptation, pleasure, and control. With his silk pajamas, smoking jacket, and ever-present pipe, Hefner became a living symbol of indulgence. To the world, he looked like the ultimate gentleman, surrounded by beauty. But behind the scenes, the mansion was a playground where morality vanished after dark. Every night, stars, models, and powerful men from Hollywood and beyond gathered for parties that redefined the meaning of excess. Champagne flowed like water, music blasted through the halls, and inhibitions disappeared the moment you stepped inside. But beneath the laughter and flashing lights, there were secrets, disturbing ones. Former girlfriends and playmates later revealed stories of manipulation, strange rules, and hidden cameras that recorded what should have stayed private. Many described feeling trapped in a world where Hefner controlled every detail, from their looks to who they spoke to. He called it freedom, a revolution against repression, but the truth was far more complicated. Some saw him as a visionary who broke social barriers and changed how the world viewed sexuality. Others saw a man feeding his own obsessions under the disguise of liberation. Over time, the Playboy brand became a symbol of both empowerment and exploitation, depending on who you asked. Even after his death, whispers continued about what truly went on behind those gates, about parties that never ended, recordings that vanished, and nights that turned darker than anyone imagined. Hefner didn't just live for pleasure, he built a kingdom on it, shaping Hollywood's image of sex and power for generations. His mansion wasn't just a home, it was the beating heart of Hollywood's most secretive desires, making him one of the biggest sex freaks in its entire history. 9. Russell Brand. Before Russell Brand reinvented himself as a calm, spiritual thinker, he was one of the most unpredictable men in Hollywood, wild, charming, and completely consumed by lust. His sex addiction wasn't gossip, it was something he openly admitted, describing it as uncontrollable and destructive. Long before meditation and mindfulness became part of his life, Russell lived in chaos. The moment fame hit him in the early 2000s, his hunger for pleasure grew beyond limits. He wasn't just a comedian or actor, he was a man chasing a high that fame and fortune could never satisfy. Everywhere he went, there were stories. Endless women, wild nights, and headlines that shocked even a city known for scandal. He could walk into a room and have everyone's attention, not just because of his humor, but because of his raw, unpredictable energy. Behind that messy hair and sharp wit was someone who couldn't stop himself. He once said that if alcoholics drink to escape pain, sex addicts chase people to fill a void, and that's exactly what he did. It didn't matter if it was a co-star, a fan, or a stranger. The thrill was his drug, but with every conquest came emptiness. The more he indulged, the lonelier he became. The tabloids painted him as a playboy, but the truth was darker. He was spiraling. His marriage to Katy Perry fell apart, and his public image started to crumble under the weight of his own reputation. It was only when he hit rock bottom that he began to see the damage he had done. Russell eventually turned to recovery, meditation, and self-reflection, trying to rebuild the pieces of his life that fame and obsession had shattered. Today, he speaks about discipline, compassion, and healing, but his past can't be erased. Hollywood still remembers the wild version of him, the man who turned pleasure into a dangerous addiction. Russell Brand didn't just chase sex, he chased chaos, and for years, it defined everything he was. 8. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan's story is one of Hollywood's most tragic transformations, from a sweet, freckled girl in The Parent Trap to a young woman caught in the storm of fame, temptation, and reckless desire. As a child star, she was adored for her talent and charm. But when she stepped into adulthood, Hollywood didn't just welcome her, it swallowed her whole. The world watched as she went from movie sets to nightclubs, surrounded by flashing cameras, late-night scandals, and an endless string of rumors about wild behavior and secret affairs. The pressure of growing up under the spotlight broke something inside her. Fame had introduced her to money, power, and people who only cared about her name, not her well-being. Soon, the line between her real life and her celebrity image began to blur. She partied with older stars, dated famous men, and became a regular in tabloids for all the wrong reasons. Behind closed doors, her nights were filled with chaos, wild parties, hookups, and reckless choices that left her exhausted and unstable. Hollywood labeled her troubled, but what she really was lost. Every scandal pushed her further into addiction, and every mistake made her more of a headline than an actress. Her relationships became as turbulent as her career, and whispers about her wild lifestyle only grew louder. Yet, beneath it all, there was still the same girl who once dreamed of being taken seriously, trapped inside a world that rewarded bad behavior more than talent. Over the years, Lindsay tried to rebuild her image, but the shadow of her past followed her everywhere. Her name became a symbol of wasted potential, the girl who had it all but couldn't control her impulses. Fame had given her everything she wanted, and then she used it to destroy herself. Lindsay Lohan's rise and fall showed that in Hollywood, pleasure and pain often come from the same place, making her one of the most unforgettable sex-driven icons in its history. 7. Jack Nicholson. If Hollywood ever crowned a king of chaos, it would have been Jack Nicholson. With his devilish grin and magnetic charm, he wasn't just a movie star, he was the embodiment of sin in sunglasses. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Nicholson turned indulgence into an art form. His home in Mulholland Drive became a legendary playground, where drugs, alcohol, and beautiful women filled every night. He lived without limits, chasing pleasure like it was his religion. Nicholson's reputation wasn't built on rumors, it was built on decades of wild stories. From wild parties with rock stars to passionate affairs with co-stars, he lived exactly how he wanted. Women adored him, men admired him, and Hollywood couldn't stop talking about him. He once said he was incapable of monogamy, and his actions proved it. Behind his confident, laid-back attitude was a man who lived for sensation, the rush of attention, the thrill of desire, and the chaos that followed him everywhere. Inside the walls of his famous house, nights blurred into mornings. Friends described it as a non-stop carnival of pleasure, a place where rules didn't exist. Nicholson's charisma was dangerous because it made sin look cool. He wasn't ashamed of his wild side, he celebrated it. While other stars hid their scandals, Jack wore his like a badge of honor. His relationships often burned fast and bright, leaving heartbreak in their wake, but he never looked back. Even as he grew older, his appetite for life never slowed down. Hollywood changed, but Jack didn't. He became the face of rebellion, of living by no one's rules but his own. The man who played dangerous, unpredictable characters on screen lived the same way off-screen. Jack Nicholson didn't just act the part, he was the part, turning Hollywood's sinful reputation into a lifestyle and earning his place as one of its biggest sex freaks of all time. 6. Madonna. Madonna didn't just break the rules of pop culture, she destroyed them and built her own world on top of the ashes. From the moment she stepped into the spotlight in the early 80s, she made it clear that she wasn't going to play it safe. She wasn't just a singer, she was a movement bold, provocative, and completely unafraid of desire. Every music video, photo shoot, and stage performance pushed boundaries further than anyone else dared to go. She didn't just sing about sex, she turned it into art, into power, into rebellion. Her book, Sex in the 90s, was one of the most controversial releases in entertainment history. Filled with explicit photos and shocking imagery, it sent the world into a frenzy. Critics called it obscene, but Madonna called it honesty. She wanted to show that women could own their sexuality the same way men always had, without shame, without apology. Behind the scenes, her love life was just as wild. From famous athletes to movie stars and dancers, Madonna lived without restraint. She experimented freely, indulging in both men and women, and made headlines for every relationship she touched. Yet, her obsession with control made her story even more fascinating. For Madonna, sex wasn't just pleasure, it was power. She knew the world was watching, and she used that attention like a weapon. Every scandal only made her stronger. Each time society tried to tear her down, she reinvented herself, proving that no amount of criticism could silence her. Decades later, she's still unapologetic about the chaos she caused. Her legacy isn't just about music, it's about changing how the world talks about female desire. She blurred the line between sinner and saint, between art and obscenity, and forced Hollywood to confront its own double standards. Madonna didn't just shock the world, she reshaped it, forever earning her place among the biggest sex freaks in Hollywood history. 5. Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty was more than a movie star. He was a legend built on charm, mystery, and an irresistible magnetism that made him the ultimate Hollywood heartbreaker. For decades, his name was whispered across red carpets, dressing rooms, and gossip columns, not just for his acting, but for his countless affairs. Rumor has it that Beatty slept with thousands of women throughout his career, a number that became part of his myth. He didn't chase fame, fame chased him. Every time he appeared on screen, women couldn't look away. He had that slow, dangerous confidence, the kind that made people forget he was acting. Behind the scenes, Beatty moved through Hollywood's most glamorous circles, dating some of the most famous women of all time, from Natalie Wood to Diane Keaton. But it wasn't just his looks that drew them in. He knew how to make people feel like they were the only ones in the world, even when they weren't. Beatty's relationships were passionate, intense, and short-lived. He treated romance like an adventure, never staying still for long. Friends described him as both charming and exhausting, a man who needed attention as much as he needed air. The tabloids called him a playboy, but that didn't bother him. If anything, it fueled his image. When he finally settled down with actress Annette Bening, the world was stunned. After decades of chasing pleasure, he seemed to have found peace. But by then, his reputation was set in stone. Warren Beatty had already lived out every fantasy Hollywood could imagine, and then some. He wasn't just part of the city's sexual history, he helped write it. With his effortless charisma and endless appetite for romance, he became a symbol of the golden age of desire, securing his place as one of the biggest sex freaks Hollywood ever produced. 4. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe wasn't just a Hollywood icon, she was the living embodiment of desire. With her breathy voice, playful charm, and undeniable beauty, she redefined what it meant to be sexy in the golden age of cinema. But behind that dazzling smile was a woman far more complicated, mysterious, and broken than the world ever saw. Marilyn understood the power of seduction better than anyone, and she used it to climb from obscurity to superstardom. Yet the same allure that made her famous also became her greatest curse. Hollywood saw her as an object, not a person. Producers wanted her body, not her mind. So, Marilyn learned to play the game, using her sexuality as both shield and weapon. Her rumored affairs with powerful men, including President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert, became the stuff of legend. Whispers of secret meetings, hidden romances, and dangerous liaisons followed her everywhere. She wasn't afraid to explore pleasure or take control of her image, but the pressure of being the world's fantasy soon became unbearable. Off-screen, Marilyn's private life was filled with loneliness and heartbreak. She sought love, but often found manipulation and betrayal. Her curiosity and openness about sex made her both admired and judged, caught between being worshipped and misunderstood. Those close to her described her as someone who craved affection but never truly found peace. The line between Marilyn Monroe, the icon, and Norma Jean, the woman, began to fade. Her mysterious death in 1962 only deepened the rumors. Some said she knew too much about the powerful men she entertained. Others believed she was a victim of Hollywood's dark obsession with youth and beauty. Whatever the truth, Marilyn Monroe's sensuality changed Hollywood forever. She turned her own vulnerability into a weapon of power, seducing an entire world and leaving behind a legacy built on beauty, pain, and forbidden secrets. She wasn't just a star, she was the ultimate symbol of desire in a town that feeds on it. 3. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando wasn't only one of the greatest actors in history, he was also one of Hollywood's most unpredictable lovers. On screen, he could break hearts with a single look. Off-screen, he lived in a whirlwind of passion, rebellion, and temptation that no one could tame. Brando's sexuality was as bold and unpredictable as his career. He loved men, he loved women, and he never cared what anyone thought about it. He once admitted to relationships that would have shocked his fans, but that was Brando: wild, unapologetic, and impossible to define. During the height of his fame, he was irresistible. His smoldering eyes and dangerous charm drew people in like a magnet. Co-stars described him as magnetic and intense, someone who lived in extremes. He could be gentle one moment and explosive the next. His relationships reflected that chaos, passionate, fiery, and often short-lived. He had affairs with countless women, including some of Hollywood's biggest stars, but also men whose names were kept secret for decades. Brando didn't hide from pleasure. He chased it fearlessly. He saw sex as a connection, not just indulgence. But his obsession often led to heartbreak, both for himself and the people around him. His marriages fell apart, his children suffered from his distance, and his private life was a mess of secrecy and scandal. Yet, through it all, he remained captivating, a man driven by emotion, ego, and hunger for something deeper than fame. Even in his later years, when the charm faded and the world changed, Brando still carried that unpredictable energy. He had lived life on his own terms, recklessly, passionately, and without apology. For him, sex was never about control or image. It was about freedom. Marlon Brando wasn't just an actor, he was a storm of passion that Hollywood could never contain. And his wild, untamed love life made him one of the biggest sex freaks the industry has ever known. 2. Errol Flynn. Long before Hollywood had rock stars or bad boys, it had Errol Flynn, a man whose real life was even wilder than the swashbuckling characters he played on screen. In the 1930s and 40s, Flynn was the ultimate heartthrob, handsome, charming, and completely untamable. He didn't just act like a rogue, he was one. Behind the scenes, his nights were filled with drinking, women, and scandals that shocked even a town famous for sin. The phrase, "in like Flynn," became part of pop culture, a playful nod to his effortless ability to seduce almost anyone he wanted. Flynn's parties were the stuff of legend. His Hollywood Hills home was known as a paradise of temptation where the rules of society vanished. Stars, socialites, and strangers all found themselves caught up in his dangerous charm. But behind the laughter and music, Flynn's behavior grew darker. He was accused of affairs with underage girls and dragged into court in one of the most explosive trials of his time. Though he was acquitted, his reputation never fully recovered. For some, he was a misunderstood romantic. For others, a predator who hid behind fame. Still, none of it slowed him down. Flynn continued living fast, chasing pleasure like it was the only thing keeping him alive. He traveled the world, drank heavily, and surrounded himself with lovers wherever he went. Hollywood adored his talent, but feared his recklessness. He was a man addicted to danger, both on screen and off. By the time he reached middle age, his beauty had faded, but his hunger hadn't. Years of excess left him exhausted, yet he never stopped chasing that thrill. When he died at 50, he left behind a legend soaked in charm, scandal, and desire. Errol Flynn didn't just play a pirate, he lived like one, turning Hollywood into his ship and indulgence into his compass. His name still echoes as one of the wildest, most unapologetic sex freaks in Hollywood history. 1. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin may have made the world laugh, but behind that iconic mustache and bowler hat was a man whose private life was far from innocent. As one of the first global superstars, Chaplin had the fame, power, and influence to get anything or anyone he wanted. And what he wanted most were young women, very young. Throughout his life, he was drawn to teenage girls, often marrying them before they were even out of school. His obsession with youth became one of Hollywood's earliest and darkest scandals. In the roaring 20s and 30s, Chaplin's genius on screen hid the chaos of his real life. He had affairs with multiple women at once, and each relationship seemed to end in heartbreak or public humiliation. When actress Joan Barry accused him of fathering her child, the courtroom drama nearly destroyed his career. Even though a blood test proved he wasn't the father, the jury ignored science and declared him responsible. The scandal painted him as a manipulative womanizer and made him one of the most controversial figures in the business. But Chaplin's troubles didn't stop there. His fascination with young girls continued, drawing outrage from the public and disgust from his peers. He married his last wife, Una O'Neill, when she was just 17 and he was 54. Their relationship raised eyebrows everywhere, yet it lasted until his death. For some, it was proof that he had finally found peace. For others, it confirmed that his desires had always crossed the line. Despite the scandals, Chaplin's brilliance as a filmmaker never faded. He created masterpieces like City Lights and Modern Times, leaving behind a legacy of laughter mixed with controversy. But the darker side of his life, the hidden affairs, the secret obsessions, the inappropriate romances, will forever shadow his genius. Charlie Chaplin didn't just revolutionize cinema, he also revealed how even the most beloved stars could be driven by the strangest desires, securing his place as the #1 sex freak in Hollywood history. Hollywood has always loved a scandal, but these stories take things to another level, don't they? Behind the fame, fortune, and flashing lights, even the most glamorous stars can hide the darkest desires. But the question is, how many more secrets are still locked away in Tinseltown's shadows, waiting to be exposed? If you enjoyed uncovering these wild Hollywood tales, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next, because the truth only gets crazier from here. Cheating scandals have the power to do more than break hearts, they can shatter entire careers. In Hollywood, where every move is magnified, some of the biggest black actors have seen their reputations destroyed by affairs, betrayals, and shocking secrets exposed to the world. These weren't just private mistakes, they became public disasters that left fans stunned, families broken, and once unshakable careers hanging by a thread. This is the untold truth of 14 cheating scandals that destroyed famous black actors and the shocking fallout that followed each one. 14. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was once the king of comedy, a superstar who made the world laugh with his wit and energy. But away from the spotlight, his personal life turned into the kind of drama even Hollywood couldn't script. His marriage to Nicole Mitchell seemed picture-perfect at first, but whispers of infidelity started surfacing, slowly chipping away at that image. Allegations of cheating didn't just hurt his family life, they also reshaped how fans viewed him. For a comedian who often played lovable characters, the scandal painted him in a very different light. The divorce that followed made everything worse, as the tabloids highlighted every detail. Instead of focusing on his talent, the conversation often turned to his unfaithful behavior. This shift was damaging, especially since Murphy had built a reputation as a family man while also being one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Even though he continued to land projects and remained successful, the scandal became part of his identity. For someone who spent decades perfecting the art of making people smile, the cheating controversy was a wound that left a lasting scar on his public image. 13. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes rose to fame as one of Hollywood's most electrifying action stars, a man who could dominate the big screen with style and strength. Audiences admired his powerful performances, but behind the cameras, his personal relationships were far less steady. Rumors of infidelity swirled around him for years, each one adding fuel to the fire that he wasn't as faithful as fans once thought. The cheating allegations not only damaged his romantic life, but also gave the media endless stories that overshadowed his career achievements. For an actor who brought larger-than-life heroes to the screen, these scandals chipped away at the respect people had for him. His divorces, coupled with reports of betrayal, painted him as reckless with those closest to him. Instead of being remembered only for his groundbreaking roles in films like Blade, he was also remembered for his messy, personal choices. These stories created a lasting mark on his reputation, reminding everyone that even the toughest action star can be brought down by scandal. Wesley Snipes' career endured, but the shadow of infidelity followed him everywhere. 12. Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was one of the brightest comedy stars of the 90s, delivering blockbuster films and hit shows that made him a household name. But while his humor connected with millions, his private life told a different story. His marriage to Patricia Southall ended with painful cheating allegations that rocked his family and reputation. The scandal didn't just break his home, it also became tabloid fodder that followed him for years. For someone who built a career on making people laugh, the headlines painted him in a far less flattering light. As Lawrence's fame grew, the personal chaos grew louder. Later relationships also carried rumors of infidelity, leaving fans questioning whether the comedian they adored was living a double life. The cheating scandals left a permanent dent in his image, with many people remembering the drama as much as his talent. Though he remained successful, starring in Bad Boys and other hits, his personal reputation never fully recovered. The shadow of scandal lingered, proving that even the funniest man in Hollywood couldn't joke his way out of the damage caused by infidelity. 11. Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard built his career on unforgettable performances, bringing intensity and charisma to every role. From Hustle and Flow to Empire, he became one of the most respected actors in Hollywood. But outside the set, Howard's personal life spiraled into a storm of controversies, many linked to allegations of infidelity. His marriages often ended in bitter splits, with cheating stories fueling the breakdowns and feeding the tabloids with endless drama. For a man who thrived on playing complicated characters, his real-life narrative was just as messy. Howard's repeated relationship troubles damaged the leading man image he once enjoyed. Instead of being celebrated solely for his craft, he became the subject of gossip columns that focused more on betrayal than artistry. Fans and industry insiders alike saw the scandals chip away at his credibility, making it harder for people to separate his work from his personal choices. Even during the height of the Empire's success, the stories of infidelity never truly went away. Terrence Howard's cheating scandals proved that fame could amplify every mistake, leaving scars that no award or hit role could erase. 10. Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. went from Oscar glory with Jerry Maguire to tabloid scandal in just a few years. At first, fans adored him as the charming, energetic actor who could light up any screen. But behind the scenes, his marriage to Sarah Kapfer was under constant strain, with reports of infidelity surfacing again and again. Allegations of cheating became part of the story of their long relationship, eventually leading to a public split that turned into gossip headlines. The cheating scandal didn't just wound his family, it also made people view him differently as a star. Instead of being remembered as Hollywood's golden boy, Gooding's image started slipping toward one of scandal and personal recklessness. The breakup and betrayal rumors stayed in the spotlight longer than his film projects, showing how quickly Hollywood can turn on its stars. For someone who once held the highest recognition in the industry, being remembered for infidelity was a painful fall. His story became a reminder of how fast public admiration can turn into lasting damage when cheating becomes the headline. 9. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was at the top of the world, selling out arenas, starring in hit movies, and building a brand as one of comedy's biggest names. But all that success took a sharp hit when a cheating scandal rocked his personal life. In 2017, a video surfaced that appeared to show Hart being unfaithful while on tour. The story exploded overnight, with tabloids and social media turning the betrayal into worldwide news. Suddenly, the comedian famous for his relatable stories was caught in one of the most humiliating scandals of the decade. Hart made a public apology to his wife Aniko, but the damage was already done. For months, the cheating story overshadowed his work, putting cracks in his carefully built image as a family man. What hurt most was how the scandal clashed with the personal values he often spoke about on stage. Though he managed to rebuild his career, the infidelity became a permanent stain in his story. Kevin Hart's scandal showed that even the most successful stars can be brought down when private mistakes go public. 8. Chris Rock. Chris Rock is one of the sharpest minds in comedy, famous for tackling tough subjects with fearless humor. But even he couldn't joke his way out of the fallout from infidelity. After years of marriage to Malak Compton, Rock admitted in interviews that he had cheated multiple times during their relationship. For fans, this confession was shocking because Rock often built his comedy around family, love, and the struggles of everyday relationships. The revelation shattered the wholesome side of his image and gave critics fresh material to use against him. The divorce that followed turned into a painful public affair, with the cheating stories leading every headline. What made it worse was how Rock's own admission added fuel to the fire. He wasn't just accused, he openly acknowledged it. That level of honesty may have been bold, but it also cemented the scandal in his career narrative. For someone so respected in comedy, the cheating confessions became a part of his legacy. Instead of being remembered only for his brilliance on stage, Rock's story of betrayal added a heavy layer to his public persona. 7. Malik Yoba. Malik Yoba built his career on memorable roles in shows like New York Undercover and films that gave him a loyal fan base. Known for his charisma and ability to play both strong and vulnerable characters, Yoba seemed to embody stability. But his personal life told a more chaotic story. Rumors of infidelity surrounded him, straining his relationships and making their way into the media. Cheating scandals chipped at the image he had carefully built and turned the spotlight away from his work. For Yoba, the damage was lasting. Fans who once saw him as a role model began questioning his private choices. The whispers of betrayal didn't just end marriages, they also created a reputation he struggled to shake off. In Hollywood, where perception is everything, these kinds of stories stick. His name became linked with scandal more than success, pushing his career into a quieter phase. Malik Yoba's situation showed how infidelity can destroy not just love, but also the respect an actor spends years building in front of the camera. 6. Michael Ealy. Michael Ealy became one of Hollywood's favorite leading men, admired for his piercing blue eyes and his ability to play romantic, heartfelt roles. On screen, he seemed like the perfect partner every fan dreamed of. But off-screen, his personal life wasn't free of controversy. Over the years, whispers of infidelity circulated, suggesting that the man who played devoted lovers in films wasn't always as loyal in real life. These rumors, though never fully silenced, chipped away at the carefully built image of a family man. In Hollywood, perception can be everything, and for someone like Ealy, cheating rumors cast a long shadow. Fans who admired his roles in Think Like a Man and Barbershop started seeing him through a different lens, questioning whether the devotion he displayed on screen matched reality. Though he continued to work steadily and deliver strong performances, the conversations about his alleged unfaithfulness followed him. For an actor who built his career on trust and likability, infidelity rumors became a stain that distracted from his talent and left his reputation marked by scandal. 5. Boris Kodjoe. Boris Kodjoe was admired as one of Hollywood's most picture-perfect stars. Handsome, charismatic, and deeply respected for his family-oriented image, he seemed untouchable. His marriage to actress Nicole Ari Parker was often celebrated as one of the strongest unions in the industry. But even this golden image wasn't safe from the sting of cheating rumors. Gossip blogs and tabloids often speculated about infidelity, dragging his name into scandal stories that clashed with everything fans thought they knew about him. The impact was heavy because Kodjoe's career thrived on the image of stability and loyalty. For someone constantly cast as the ideal man, whispers of cheating struck at the heart of his appeal. Even when he and his wife denied or moved past the rumors, the damage was done. His perfect reputation was no longer flawless. The mere association with scandal was enough to taint his public persona. While he remained successful in television and film, the cheating stories became a dark cloud hanging over his career. For Boris Kodjoe, the rumors proved that even the most admired image could be shaken when infidelity entered the conversation. 4. Columbus Short. Columbus Short rose to fame with his breakout role on Scandal, where his talent and charisma earned him a loyal following. But while his career looked promising, his personal life was consumed by controversy. Cheating scandals, along with other highly publicized troubles, became a central part of his story. Reports of infidelity surfaced during his marriages, leading to painful splits and fueling the narrative that Short couldn't keep his personal life stable. For an actor whose career was just reaching its peak, this kind of drama was devastating. The cheating stories didn't exist in isolation. They came alongside accusations of violence and substance abuse, which only magnified the damage. His exit from Scandal shocked fans, but many connected it to his chaotic personal life. Instead of being remembered solely for his talent, he became a symbol of wasted potential. The betrayals and infidelity scandals played a key role in destroying the trust audiences once had in him. For Columbus Short, infidelity wasn't just a private mistake. It was one of the scandals that tore apart a rising career before it could fully blossom. 3. Eric Benet. Eric Benet may be best known as a musician, but his acting career and Hollywood ties made him part of the entertainment world's spotlight. His marriage to Halle Berry turned him into a household name, but it was also the stage for one of the most infamous cheating scandals in black celebrity history. Reports of his repeated infidelity shocked fans, especially since Berry was seen as one of the most admired women in Hollywood. The scandal grew so large that Benet eventually admitted to battling what he called a sex addiction. But the confession did little to save his reputation. The cheating destroyed not only his marriage but also his public image. Instead of being remembered for his music or acting roles, he became the man who betrayed Halle Berry. That label stuck, overshadowing his talent and opportunities in Hollywood. For years, interviews and headlines focused less on his work and more on his unfaithful past. Eric Benet's scandal proved how one betrayal can redefine a career, turning a rising star into a cautionary tale about fame, relationships, and the heavy cost of infidelity. 2. Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs built his career on charm, starring in films like How Stella Got Her Groove Back and Brown Sugar. For years, he was admired as both a talented actor and a family man, especially during his marriage to Idina Menzel. But rumors of infidelity started surfacing, creating cracks in the perfect image fans once celebrated. When the marriage ended, cheating whispers were among the reasons most talked about in tabloids. The scandal damaged his reputation because so much of his career had been built on the idea of romantic leading roles. Fans found it harder to separate the man on screen from the stories off-screen. Even though Diggs continued working, the cheating rumors remained attached to his name. Instead of being seen only as the smooth star of stage and film, his image became tied to betrayal, leaving a shadow on his career that still lingers. 1. Larenz Tate. Larenz Tate is widely respected for his powerful roles in classics like Menace to Society and Love Jones. On screen, he played characters who were passionate, loyal, and deeply admired by audiences. But behind the scenes, cheating allegations surrounded him, tarnishing the family man image he had worked so hard to maintain. The gossip media thrived on these stories, highlighting how infidelity rumors strained his longtime marriage and personal life. For Tate, whose career depended on the trust and admiration of fans, the cheating scandals created a noticeable shift. Instead of being celebrated solely for his artistry, conversations often veered toward betrayal. Even though he kept landing roles and maintained a steady career, the narrative of infidelity never completely disappeared. His story shows how one rumor, amplified by Hollywood's spotlight, can change the way an actor is remembered. Tate's reputation, once spotless, was forever marked by whispers of scandal, affairs, and the heavy cost of infidelity. Cheating scandals don't just destroy marriages, they destroy careers, reputations, and the trust of fans who once looked up to these stars. From comedy legends to action heroes, these stories prove that no amount of fame can shield someone from the consequences of betrayal. Some managed to rebuild, while others faded under the weight of their own mistakes. But here's the real question. Do you think Hollywood ever truly forgives, or are these actors forever trapped by their scandals? If you found this breakdown shocking, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss the wildest stories from Hollywood's hidden past. Hollywood loves the spotlight, but the truth often hides in the shadows. When some of the most iconic black actors left this world, shocking secrets began to surface. Stories of silent battles, hidden sacrifices, and behind-the-scenes struggles that no one saw while the cameras were rolling. These were the faces that inspired generations, yet their pain often stayed buried until it was too late. From untold health battles to injustices covered up by the industry, here are 20 things we only learned after black actors died. 20. Chadwick Boseman's silent battle. Chadwick Boseman's passing in 2020 revealed something few could ever imagine. While fans celebrated his powerful roles in Black Panther, 42, and Marshall, he was quietly enduring grueling cancer treatments. He kept his diagnosis private, never letting illness overshadow his art or the stories he wanted to tell. Even during exhausting chemotherapy sessions, he chose to film action-packed scenes that demanded both physical strength and emotional intensity. Colleagues later shared how he never complained, carrying himself with dignity and focus. His silence wasn't a weakness, it was a powerful choice to protect his privacy and inspire millions through his work. Only after his death did the world realize the unimaginable weight he carried, teaching us about resilience, strength, and the cost of unspoken battles. 19. Michael Clarke Duncan's financial struggles. Michael Clarke Duncan, best known for his Oscar-nominated role in The Green Mile, seemed larger than life. His warm personality and booming presence made him unforgettable on screen. Yet, after he died in 2012, painful truths emerged. Despite earning fame and wealth, Duncan faced financial mismanagement that left him vulnerable. Reports revealed that people close to him took advantage of his generosity, draining resources he had worked so hard for. Behind his joyful smile was a man who struggled to protect himself from betrayal. This reality painted a new picture of Duncan not just as a gentle giant in film, but also as someone who endured deep personal challenges. His story reminded fans that even the brightest stars can be left unprotected in a world full of hidden pitfalls. 18. Cicely Tyson's unheard stories. Cicely Tyson's passing in 2021 opened the door to stories the world had never fully heard. Known as a trailblazer for Black women in Hollywood, her life seemed polished and untouchable. But her memoir, released shortly before her death, revealed decades of pain, rejection, and constant battles against Hollywood's narrow view of Black actresses. She fought to break stereotypes, often refusing roles that demeaned Black women, even when it meant losing opportunities. Tyson carried herself with grace, yet behind the elegance were struggles she rarely spoke about. After her death, her words allowed people to understand the sacrifices she made and the emotional toll of being a pioneer. What was once unseen became clear. Her fight was far greater than her fame. 17. Bernie Mac's misdiagnosed illness. When Bernie Mac died in 2008, fans were shocked by how sudden it seemed. The world lost a comedy giant whose sharp humor and unforgettable presence made him one of the most beloved entertainers of his time. After his death, the truth about his long fight with sarcoidosis came into focus. Many had no idea he lived with this rare inflammatory disease for years, as he often downplayed its seriousness. Doctors and family later revealed that complications and mismanagement worsened his condition, leading to his untimely passing. His death shed light on the hidden struggles of chronic illness, showing that even those who bring endless laughter to millions can be privately suffering in silence. Bernie Mac's story became a sobering reminder of invisible battles. 16. Whitney Houston's pressure in film. Whitney Houston's legacy as one of the greatest voices in history is undeniable, but after her passing in 2012, new stories highlighted the crushing pressures she faced while stepping into acting. Her role in The Bodyguard became a cultural phenomenon, but behind the scenes, Whitney wrestled with insecurities and constant criticism from Hollywood executives who doubted her acting ability. Balancing a booming music career with sudden film stardom weighed heavily on her. Insiders revealed the exhausting expectations placed on her shoulders and how they intensified her already turbulent personal struggles. Her death reminded the world of how fragile even the brightest stars can be, and how much hidden strain is carried by those forced to live up to impossible standards. 15. Paul Winfield's private struggles. Paul Winfield, celebrated for roles in films like Sounder and The Terminator, was praised for his versatility and depth on screen. Yet, after he died in 2004, truths about his private life became more widely known. Winfield had quietly battled health challenges, including complications from diabetes. But what struck many was the revelation of his struggles with HIV. At a time when stigma was heavy, he kept much of his personal life private, focusing instead on his craft. His passing revealed the quiet courage it took to maintain dignity while living with secrets he rarely shared. The world learned not just of his immense talent, but also the heavy burdens he bore away from the spotlight. His story became one of resilience amid silence. 14. Diahann Carroll's quiet trailblazing. Diahann Carroll was known as a glamorous star who broke barriers on television with her groundbreaking role in Julia. But after her passing in 2019, more stories came forward about the uphill battles she fought in Hollywood. Carroll often faced subtle but powerful resistance from executives who doubted audiences would embrace a Black woman in leading roles. She carried herself with poise, yet privately endured the weight of being a pioneer in an industry that rarely welcomed diversity. Friends and colleagues later revealed how fiercely she fought behind closed doors for representation, even when it cost her opportunities. After her death, the full scope of her courage was recognized, showing the sacrifices she made so others could one day walk through the same doors. 13. Gregory Hines' hidden illness. Gregory Hines dazzled audiences with his unmatched tap dancing and charismatic acting. His energy seemed limitless, making his death in 2003 a heartbreaking shock. Only afterward did people learn that he had been quietly battling liver cancer, a struggle he chose to keep private. He continued to perform and inspire others, never allowing illness to overshadow his artistry. Friends later shared how his strength and determination kept him moving forward, even in his final days. The revelation painted a deeper picture of Hines not only as an entertainer, but as a man of incredible willpower who kept giving joy to others while enduring pain. His passing taught the world about the resilience behind the rhythm and the hidden strength within his shining career. 12. Eartha Kitt's outspoken activism. Eartha Kitt captivated audiences with her sultry voice and fierce personality, but after she died in 2008, many people discovered the heavy price she paid for speaking her mind. In the 1960s, she publicly criticized the Vietnam War, and as a result, she was blacklisted by Hollywood and even monitored by government agencies. Much of this history resurfaced after her passing, reminding the world of how she risked her career to stand by her convictions. For decades, she lived with the consequences, often forced to work overseas when U.S. doors closed on her. Though celebrated for her artistry, it was her bravery that shone brighter in retrospect. After she died, her story became not just one of talent, but of fearless defiance against injustice. 11. Sherman Hemsley's secret life. Sherman Hemsley brought laughter to millions as George Jefferson, yet after he died in 2012, surprising details about his personal life came to light. Despite fame and success, Hemsley lived quietly and somewhat reclusively, often avoiding the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Friends described him as eccentric, enjoying solitude and private spiritual practices that fans never saw. His death also sparked a lengthy legal battle over his estate, revealing how unprepared he had been for the complexities of fame and money. These revelations shifted how people saw him beyond the loud comedic character. He was a deeply private man who valued peace over attention. The contrast between his on-screen persona and his real life became more striking only after his passing. 10. Ruby Dee's letters and activism. Ruby Dee was admired as an actress, but after she died in 2014, her personal letters and stories revealed an even deeper side. Beyond her performances, she had been a powerful voice in civil rights, working tirelessly alongside her husband, Ossie Davis. She wrote speeches, organized protests, and quietly mentored younger generations of black performers. Many of these details only came to light after her passing, when tributes and documents showed just how much she sacrificed for justice. Her work wasn't limited to the screen. She fought in real-life battles that shaped history. The world learned that Ruby Dee's legacy stretched far beyond acting. She wasn't only an artist, but a force for change, carrying struggles that often remained hidden while she lived. 9. John Witherspoon's comedy sacrifices. John Witherspoon's death in 2019 revealed just how much he gave to comedy behind the scenes. Known for his hilarious roles in Friday and the Boondocks, he was beloved for his energy and delivery. But after his passing, comedians shared stories about how Witherspoon quietly helped younger performers, often without recognition. He gave advice, opened doors, and sacrificed opportunities so others could shine. What fans saw as a funny, father-like figure was also a mentor who carried heavy responsibility. He endured the grind of the entertainment industry for decades, often underpaid compared to his peers, yet he never stopped giving. After his death, the world saw the bigger picture. His laughter wasn't just entertainment, it was a gift built on sacrifice and quiet dedication. 8. Ossie Davis's unshakable convictions. Ossie Davis was a respected actor, but after he died in 2005, the depth of his activism became even more apparent. He wasn't just taking roles, he was choosing projects that aligned with his beliefs, often turning down opportunities if they didn't reflect dignity for black characters. Stories resurfaced about how he spoke at Malcolm X's funeral, how he pushed for equality on and off the screen, and how he mentored younger voices. His career wasn't easy, and he lost chances because he refused to compromise his values. These truths became clearer after his passing, showing that Davis lived with unshakable principles. His death highlighted how much he gave to both art and activism, leaving behind lessons that extended far beyond film. 7. Thomas Michael Ford's silent health decline. Best remembered as Tommy from the hit sitcom Martin, Thomas Michael Ford's death in 2016 shocked fans. He was known for his warm smile and easy charm, but after his passing, it became clear that he had been dealing with serious health problems. He had long struggled with issues like high blood pressure, which eventually led to complications that took his life. Friends later shared that Ford rarely spoke about his health challenges, keeping much of it private, while continuing to inspire others with motivational speaking and community work. His death revealed how silently he carried these burdens, showing that even while making others laugh, he was facing struggles of his own. fans learned a deeper truth about the battles behind his joy. 6. Natalie Desselle Reid's overlooked talent. Natalie Desselle Reid's death in 2020 left fans heartbroken, and it also revealed just how underappreciated she had been in Hollywood. Best known for roles in BAP's Cinderella and Eve, she had a gift for comedy and warmth that lit up the screen. Yet after her passing, many reflected on how little recognition she truly received during her career. Friends and co-stars shared stories of her kindness, professionalism, and the energy she brought to every set. Her death reminded people of the quiet struggles many talented Black actresses face in an industry that often overlooks them. Natalie's passing brought overdue appreciation for her work, making audiences realize she should have been celebrated far more while she was alive. 5. Esther Rolle's fight for representation. Esther Rolle, known for her role as Florida Evans in Good Times, was a strong advocate for authentic portrayals of Black families. After she died in 1998, more stories emerged about how tirelessly she fought for dignity on television. She often clashed with producers over stereotypical storylines, demanding better representation for Black culture and family life. Many didn't know how much she sacrificed behind the scenes to keep harmful portrayals off the air. Her passing made clear that she wasn't just acting, she was actively shaping television history. Esther Rolle's courage revealed itself most fully after her death, reminding people that her impact was not only in her performances, but in her determination to create real, respectful images of Black life. 4. Yaphet Kotto's Hollywood struggles. Yaphet Kotto, remembered for roles in Alien and Live and Let Die, had a career filled with groundbreaking parts. But after he died in 2021, troubling stories about his Hollywood experience resurfaced. He spoke openly about the racism he faced, but it was only after he was gone that the full scope of his struggles came to light. Casting directors often overlooked him for leading roles, despite his undeniable talent and commanding presence. Friends recalled how he endured constant typecasting, forced into roles that rarely reflected his range. His death highlighted the painful reality of how systemic barriers limited even the most gifted Black actors. Kotto's story, revealed more deeply after his passing, exposed Hollywood's long history of shutting out deserving talent. 3. Roxy Roker's groundbreaking impact. Roxy Roker became a television pioneer as Helen Willis on The Jeffersons, where she played one half of one of the first interracial couples shown on primetime television. At the time, the role stirred controversy, but after she died in 1995, people began to understand the enormous weight she carried as a trailblazer. Colleagues later shared that she was fully aware of the backlash, yet pushed forward, knowing how important the representation was. Her death reminded audiences that she wasn't just a performer, but a bold figure who challenged social norms through her work. Roxy's legacy became clearer after her passing, showing that her courage helped break barriers and reshape television history in ways that would influence generations of actors to come. 2. Clarence Williams III's hidden legacy. Clarence Williams III, famous for his breakout role in the Mod Squad, was long admired for his intense screen presence. But after he died in 2021, fans and critics realized how much of his influence had gone unnoticed during his life. Tributes poured in, highlighting how his performances shaped television and film, especially in breaking stereotypes of Black men in leading roles. He inspired countless actors with his boldness, yet Hollywood often failed to give him the recognition he deserved. His passing reminded people that he was far more than a supporting player. He was a quiet revolutionary. Only after his death did the industry fully acknowledge the groundbreaking mark he left behind, cementing him as a true force in entertainment history. 1. Sidney Poitier's untold burdens. Sidney Poitier's death in 2022 closed the chapter on one of Hollywood's greatest stories. As the first Black man to win an Oscar for Best Actor, he symbolized progress, but after his passing, tributes revealed the immense weight he carried. He was constantly expected to represent an entire race, choosing roles carefully to avoid reinforcing stereotypes. Behind the elegance and grace, he bore pressures few could imagine, every decision judged not only as an actor, but as a symbol of change. His death revealed the loneliness of being a pioneer, a man who shouldered history on his back. While celebrated for his achievements, the world finally understood the heavy burden he lived with, making his victories even more extraordinary in retrospect. Behind the fame, the glamour, and the unforgettable performances, these actors carried struggles, secrets, and sacrifices that only came to light after their deaths. Which of these stories moved you the most? And which actor's hidden truth do you think the world needs to hear louder? If you want more untold stories of Hollywood's hidden past, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the next deep dive.